Hi everybody, welcome back to another episode of Driving Rocks. Today we're going to look at a test route at Currie Test Centre. Now this route is quite a common route. We quite often find whenever we get visiting examiners or when we get new examiners that are just in training, this is a route that is quite often given to them at the beginning. So quite common to see. So we're going to take a drive, we're going to look at all the pitfalls, things that might catch out in tests that are quite common on this route. Yeah. So before we get going, please remember to click subscribe, hit the notification bell and like this video. It all really helps to get the channel going. The plan is to do a video every single week. We're going to be looking at test routes and mock tests and some how-to videos as we go along. Okay, right, let's get going. So just making sure everything's clear. Everything's looking good. So at the end of the road we're going to turn left, so interior mirror, left mirror and signal. Okay, now this junction can be a little bit blind at times, just looking all round. And we're all going, and that's some people just going for the driving test now. That's the test centre just to our right hand side. So we pass this vehicle, check mirrors, interior and right. Now yes, signalling, so he's moving off. So we don't need to pass him anymore. Okay, at the roundabout we're going to turn right, third exit. So interior mirror, right door mirror, signal. Okay, I'm just going to wait for these vehicles. Okay, so that blue car's indicating to come off. Still looking clear. Don't bring ourselves on. Nice and slow because I've got back up here. Okay, so this is our exit coming up, interior, left, signal. Okay, so common fault area number one for this area, this road, it's a 20. It's very common for a lot of people to creep over. So the 40 sign is quite further down. Remember, once it's an increase in speed, you can't do it until you're at the sign. If it's a decrease in speed, it needs to be done before the sign. This bit here is about where it's tempting to start speeding up after the sign only. And before we do that, we're going to check our mirrors to make sure nobody's in the process of overtaking us. So interior mirror, right mirror, and we'll start to accelerate. Now, the speed limit is just that. It's a limit, it's not a target. So, in these bends here, it's totally okay to be under 40. So, low 30 is fine. It gets tight here with oncoming vehicles. Start to accelerate a bit now, up to 40, it's nice and clear. Okay, you'll notice the signage on this next roundabout, there's no right hand exit. So if this splits into two lanes, we can presume that straight is going to be in the right hand side. As we get closer, we start to see it does split into two lanes, and it's the right hand lane that we're going to use to go straight. Nice and clear, keep it moving. Right hand lane on approach, which means right hand lane on the roundabout. Start following around, check your mirror, signal, start to move over, and that's your exit. The next roundabout is exactly the same, straight ahead, second exit, it's just a lot smaller than the last one. So we're still going to check our mirrors on approach. Start to read the roundabout. Nobody here. Oh, there you go. Nobody signalling. Okay, all good. So you probably saw that Audi didn't have his signal to stay on. He actually approached the wrong side as well. So you have to look at multiple factors when deciding whether it's safe to go on a roundabout. So the next roundabout, we're going to turn right, third exit. You'll notice one of the exits is marked for buses only. That doesn't get included. Okay. So mirror, signal right. So this roundabout throws people quite often. It's a 2-lane spiral. So after we pass the first exit, our lane's going to start moving over to the left-hand side. Okay, let's just get my green light. At this point, check the left mirror because our lane starts to move over to the left. Pass the second exit, check your mirrors, interior left, signal. And we're at an appropriate time to use the bus lane, so in we go. Okay, at the next roundabout we're going to be turning right, third exit for city bypass. So we need to be into the middle lane for this one. So check your mirror, signal. And you'll notice that the signage there says we can use the middle or the right lane to turn right. We're going to use the middle lane. That way when we exit, we'll be exiting in the left-hand lane, which is our normal driving position. Just follow the stud marks in. And we're just going to follow this lane as it works its way out. This is another spiral. Passing the second exit now. So now you see we're going to end up in the far left. Changing to green. Now the lane to my right can also take this exit, so we're going to quickly make sure it's clear. We're all good. We'll stay to the left and then we're going to move over to the right lane. Check it to safe first. Signal. Come over. Start to accelerate to 50. This part of the bypass is a 50. Checking the mirrors. Light blind check. All looking good. And in we go. Cancel signal. We're now at 70, check your mirrors again, start to accelerate. See up ahead, the left lane is not moving as fast as the right. We'll wait till we're a bit closer until we decide whether we need to move over to the right hand lane or not. There's a sign telling us that there's merging vehicles possibly coming up, so we're going to keep tabs. We check the right hand lane, we can see it's nice and clear. If I need to move over to let somebody in, I will be able to do so. Can't see anybody merging so far. Not far, check the mirror, nobody there. We'll just keep going. Okay, we're going to move over to the right hand lane now. So you can see the left hand lane is moving a bit slower. Okay, now the real question here is, do I go back into the left or not immediately? I think we're just going to actually stay in the right at the moment. We're making good progress on the vehicles in the left hand lane. As we see, that pickup truck on the left is what's slowing everything down. There's also a lorry ahead of him. Okay. Everybody wants to go for an overtake now. So I'm actually coming off the next exits in 3/4 of a mile, so I've got to think about getting back to the left lane pretty soon. So I think after we get past the pickup truck, we'll have to come in before the lorry. So check your mirrors, interior left. And if you will see that van in both mirrors, okay? And we can, so we come back in. So there's a countdown markers, so 3, check your mirrors, interior and left, and 2, signal. And just maintain our speed until we find the broken line. And there it is, just drifting gently. Cancelling the signal, starting to ease off the gas. So you give way in 200 yards. So at the end of the road, we're going to turn left, first exit. So turn left, and then the roundabout, left, first exit. Okay, nice and clear. Okay, the roundabout, left, first exit. Interior, left, and signal again. It's looking nice and clear. We'll continue on. Okay, so this is the next area that catches a lot of folk out. This travel lodge here, this car park's used quite a lot for driving tests. Now, first thing to be aware of, it's quite a tight car park. It's also got a one-way system. So by the time the examiner's finished giving you your brief, you're probably already past this first bend. At which point you're starting to think, oh, where can I go? Because you're not allowed to drive directly into a bay. So it's pretty much only going to leave these bays on the left or the right just at this point. So not a lot of space to get yourself arranged. However, if you go down to the bottom of this car park on the left here, quite often during the day it can be quite quiet. Now let's see what it's like. Let's come down to the line of junction, and there is some bays in the left, so we're going to go into the left. Now the good thing about these, there's plenty of space to bring yourself away from the bay, so turning into the bay is relatively easy. So whichever method you use, whether you use a stop, 90-degree turn, or you keep the car moving in to steer in, whichever, we're just going to keep it moving and steer in. Lots of space to make sure we're in a nice position, and done. Okay, now we're going to reverse back out. So into reverse, observations all round. Come back and we're going to start steering immediately because we don't have any cars next to us, which means we can keep things nice and tight. Keep looking around as you're reversing, and on we go. Now one thing to remember is when an examiner asks you to do a forward bay park, he lets you choose the bay. So don't be afraid to do a lap of this car park if you need to get something that's suitable. And at the end of the road, we're going to turn right. So to your right. And left first exit at the roundabout. All clear. Keep it going. Okay. Now this is another massive hotspot in tests. This road's only a 30 speed limit, okay? I know it looks faster, but you have to remember there's street lights with no signs. That is a 30. There is signs earlier also telling you it's a 30 zone, but what happens is a lot of people come off the bypass after just doing 70, and you know, they have some pace behind them and they feel that it's too slow and they should be at 40 going down here. At this roundabout, we're turning left first exit, interior left. Not the easiest roundabout to identify, to be honest with you, kind of off centre. But nice and clear. Keep it going. Okay, back up to there. So up ahead, you're going to see these parked cars. They're going to force us to go over into the chevron area on the right hand side. It's totally fine to do so. Just remember and check your mirrors beforehand. A little signal just so people know you're moving over slightly. And keep good clearance away from the parked cars. Check your mirror, come back in. Get a little bit tighter with traffic here, so I'm just gonna, park cars, so slow down just a little bit. Okay, and go to the next road on the left. to take the next road on the right. So, interiors, right mirrors. And this person has priority over us, so we wait until they pass. We check the mirrors again, make sure we're still good. And that person has spotted me. So thanks for that. Okay, and we're going to do our next manoeuvre. So we're going to pull over on the right hand side of the road. So check your mirrors, interior right, signal, and start to come over. Now, the key to this is get yourself in a nice starting position. Okay, play the long game, nice and straight with the road, nice and close to the curb. In a position you'd be happy to leave the vehicle parked in. So please stop. And pause. At this point, the examiner will ask you to reverse the car approximately 2 car lengths, keeping nice and close to the curb. So, into reverse. Now, full set of observations, 360 degrees all round. Make sure you're fully aware of what's going on round. And then we're going to come back nice and slowly. Still checking all round as we move. Making any small adjustments if we need to in regards to the curb. Keeping it moving. And we're just done there. Perfect timing because there's a car just about to pass us. Into park, handbrake, and we're ready. We move off. Back in the drive. Good look over the left hand shoulder, make sure it's nice and clear. And off we go. End of the road, we're going to turn left. So, interior mirror, left mirror, signal. Somebody on their driving test. Okay, this section here is a little bit unique as well. The examiner's going to ask you to keep to the right hand lane here. Now, there's only space for 2 cars after this box junction. As you can see on approach, you can't really see where the box junction ends. But if you're coming down here and you see those 2 vehicles, you have to stay at the back of that box junction. As you can see, space for 2 cars. The person in front of me is actually in the cycle box, so he went all the way a bit further back as well. Okay, check your mirrors, moving off. And this is all a 20 zone we were in now. Park cars down here, this can be a particularly tight area, as you can see. Just hold back, let them through. So, interior mirror, right mirror, signal. Okay, so this area is also quite common to get the pulling over on the right hand side of the road and reversing 2 car lanes, but we're actually going to look at the parallel park while we're in here. So, like I said, this is a super common area for manoeuvres on tests. As we can see, somebody in front of us is already doing one. Okay, now at this point the examiner will ask you to do a parallel park exercise with the vehicle in front, starting alongside the vehicle, reversing back into a space no bigger than 2 car lengths. So into drive, full 360-degree observations, make sure we're completely clear, bring ourselves out alongside the vehicle, nice and straight with the road. Distance between you and the vehicle, you want to be about the same as you'd expect to be parked together in a supermarket car park. Okay, we'll bring ourselves slightly forward of him. Okay, then into reverse. Now, first off, we're going to come back and we're going to get level with the vehicle. Good look round first. Come back nice and slowly until we are level, which is about now. Okay, so going at a 45-degree reference point, just the edge of that building. This vehicle is just overtaking us at the moment. 3/4 to the left. Good observations round. Back nice and slowly until we meet our reference point. Good looking round, which is about there. Straighten our wheels up. We go just a tiny bit. Good look round again, and then we're going to go into full lock right. So we're going to come back until we're level with the vehicle at the rear. Good look round, it's nice and safe. Okay, so we're in position, we're going to have a good look round, 360, and we're going to come back until we're level with the vehicle at the rear. Good looking, and about there. We'll go 3/4 to the left, get ourselves a reference point. In our case, it's going to be that window, the checkered window. Come back nice and slow. So the single checkered window on the right. Right there. Straighten the wheels up. Come back to our second reference point, which is one that we actually use the camera for in this car. Which is there. Full lock right. Good observations. And back nice and slow. Keep looking around. Okay, so we're going to come back until we are level with the vehicle at the rear. Good look round, 360 degrees, make sure it's nice and safe. It's about there. Going to pick a reference point, which we have. 3/4 to the left. Good look round. There's a vehicle passing. I'm just going to wait for him first. Before, at this point here, if I steer out and stop, I'm taking up more of the road. Another full set of bobs. Yeah, we're all good. Okay, so the reference point, straighten up, another good look round. And that's our second reference point there. Full lock right. Okay, and park. Okay, and when you're ready, we're going to move off. So, a good set of observations. The signal's a little bit blind because of that van. Okay. That that junction is particularly blind, so make sure you very, very slowly emerge from there. We'll turn left, mirror, signal left. So mirrors, signal. Okay, and it's clear. Okay, so we're actually just going to stay in this right hand lane because we're going to turn right at the traffic lights. If not, I'll be moving over to this left lane now to where the bus lane starts. For the junction, interior, right, signal. So at this point, if you're driving manual, you may decide you want to put the car into neutral and use the handbrake. Usually I look at these things as, if it's a pause, I wouldn't. If it's a wait, I would. Okay. Oncoming vehicles have got a red light, we've got a green filter arrow, which means we're good to go. Okay, so dual carriageway ahead, changing up to 40. At the roundabout, we're going to go straight ahead, third exit. Now this sometimes creates a bit of confusion. A lot of times when people think third exit, they think right hand side. Third exit can be straight ahead, in which case it's more than likely going to be the left lane. See, there's no lane guidance here, so we use our normal rules, which means straight ahead is in the left lane. So this blue vehicle, and good to go. First exit, second, and there's third. Mirror, signal, exit. Good. Okay, so forward. Now up ahead is a area yet again that catches a lot of people out. We're going to turn right at the traffic lights. Seems easy enough. Mirror, signal, and once the chevrons disappear, we'll move over. Now you'll notice on the left hand side here there's one set of lights, but on the right there's two. That's because my lights are on the right hand side here of the second bank. A lot of people, when the lights go straight ahead, the filter arrow to go straight ahead goes green, they go when they're not supposed to. This time we've had both at the same time, so we can proceed at the same time. And now we turn right again, mirrors, signal. Give way to this vehicle for the bus. As we can see, he's got parked cars on his side, so there's no point in forcing my way through. Okay, before you move off, just check your mirrors, make sure nobody's trying to pass you on the inside and outside, so remember to check the left as well. Turn right, so mirrors, signal. Okay, we'll turn left at the roundabout, first exit. So mirrors, interior, left, and signal. Starting to read the roundabout on approach, seeing if it's safe to go. We're not going to be in this case, so waiting for this Ford. And on we go. Okay, so the sign's telling us that the 2 lanes are about to drop down to 1. So we're just going to check our right mirror, make sure nobody's there. And once the lane markings disappear, I'll move slightly over to take us more slightly more central position. The Gillespie Crossroads, we're going to turn right. So just go past that exit, the road to our right. Now we can signal and check our mirrors. Now, one thing to remember, when you're at a crossroads and you're turning right, you're going to have to follow what we call the 2-car rule. So 2 vehicles are allowed to cross the line to be able to sit and wait to make the right turn. If one of the vehicles clears and you happen to be the 3rd vehicle, as long as the lights are still green, you can go forward and can become the 2nd car. Don't force your way out to become the 3rd car, however. There is a gap built in with the lights when they change to allow 2 vehicles to be able to clear the circuit, but generally speaking there's not enough timing for 3 cars. Check his mirrors, see if we're trying to overtake, which we are. We signal, check the mirrors, come back in. Just bring myself over slightly, just for the passing the parked car on the right hand side there. So as we can see up ahead, it's getting quite congested with parked cars. Keep an eye on that. We have to adjust our speed and our position slightly. Okay, so I'm deciding at the moment just to run relatively close to the line on the right hand side. Just indicating to people the position that I'm likely to be taking with these parked cars. Now there's parked cars on the right, and actually we can hear sirens, so we're going to ease off the gas, go tuck into the left here. Check your mirrors and then move off. Position nice and now, let this car know what sort of space we're going to need through here. I'm setting at 23, 24 at the moment. Yet again, if the risk goes up, the speed, generally speaking, comes down. This is going to be a little bit tighter with a van and somebody going into parking up her car. Okay, I'm just going to wait until she's out of the way first. For me to get in before them. Hopefully they'll go on with their conversation before I get there. So we can check our mirrors, come back in. Yeah, check mirrors, come back out again. Now you'll notice for these, sometimes when I'm coming out and coming back in, sometimes I'm signalling, sometimes I'm not. This is generally because I've assessed the situation and there's nobody around me that's actually going to benefit from the signal. When it comes to the driving test, effective observations really are important, and the examiner is going to be looking for these at key times. It's actually quite a good thing if an examiner can see that sometimes you're deciding not to signal based on your effective observations, because you have determined it is extremely clear, particularly if you're moving off, for example, on a quiet road where you wouldn't actually want to be affecting anybody by moving off empty. However, if you're on a slightly busier road like Lanark Road, you're probably going to signal, you're most definitely going to signal to move away, but you may also have to signal to let people know that you're taking a gap that you've identified. So, vehicles all tucked in, he's turning. Signal. Okay, so this is where the tests will finish off, either in the car park to the right here or on the left. We're just going to park up on the left here, just outside Scotland. Just signal that we know that I'm going to keep nice and tight to the left here. Done. Okay guys, well that was another test route from Currie Test Centre. Please go click on the subscription button, hit like, and give us a thumbs up in the video if you can as well. That'd be great, it really does help the channel. Like I say, I'll be back with another one of these next week. Furthermore, recently we've expanded into the Clackmannanshire area. So we have a manual driving instructor who's going to cover Alloa, Stirling, Alva and the surrounding areas. If anybody you know is looking for lessons in those areas, please get in touch through the website. That's www.driving.rocks. See you next week guys, take care.